So we are officially live, Dr. Shawn Garrison. But it takes a few minutes for people to come. So, and then look, there's Dr. Earl Lewis. Yay! Finally.
I am on my
Oh, hello, you beautiful, sophisticated woman. You look wonderful.
Wait a minute.
Very nice to see you.
No. I misspelled my own name. I gotta get out of there.
Oh, Lord.
We're almost there. Good thing I noticed it before we got on.
We are on. You are on live telling people you misspelled your name.
So yes, indeed. How is everyone?
Oh, you
had to move from my my desktop computer because of the technology issue and onto my iPad. Thank God for technology. Ancestors.
So, Dr. Earl Lewis, where you had DR comma instead of DR period, just in case you just.
Oh, well, you know what? That is just a matter of a click, and that's because at 55, I do not have on my glasses.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I have on glasses, but these are blue blocker ones, not the actual glasses I need to see with, because I don't know where those are. So somebody might need to read my chats for me the comments. We'll see.
Well, I can commit to doing that because I will be signing off from here after the welcome. And if you need some assistance, Dr. Ojelade, please let me know.
Okay, so I do need a little bit of assistance. I see a couple people are on, but I want to give time for a couple more people to come. So before we do the introductions, Dr. Monique Earl Lewis, can you do me a favor? You have experience of playing Black Joy.
I do. And I think at our last interaction that I get to actually be the facilitator.
No,
I won. So winner's choice.
No, man.
Oh God, I'm about to lose my black color right now. I can see it coming.
And I think we have that recorded, Dr. Ojelade, from our session with Dr. Wade Nobles.
So first you wrong because that was before Dr. Wade Nobles, but you had me and Alethea. You got to pick the last time.
Yes, and so I think that as a gracious host, and I did listen to your session from Wednesday in terms of the Black Joy, and so I have a topic prepared.
Okay, so wait a minute. I want you and Dr. Garrison.
I don't know. Yeah. What is the game?
Okay, so this is the game. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be it's a nice little mix-up because you got representing 2 football schools. So Dr. Shawn Garrison getting her PhD from University of Georgia. Dr. Monique
War Eagle.
And always remind us that she's a War Eagle from Auburn University. But representing what is most important, HBCUs.
Yes, so Maroon Tigers.
This is the game.
The PhD was at UGA. I didn't go to any football game, not one. I was undergrad Spelman, but okay, we get not one. I left the city. All the folk was coming. Okay. All right, let's just give it a shot.
Okay, so this is the game. It's pretty easy. So this is Black Joy. You have 15 seconds. I am going to throw out a question, and you have to give me 8 answers in 15 seconds. And you can't repeat the other person's answer. You can't do any fillers, no ums, uhs, so's, no filler words.
You said 8 answers or an answer?
8.
8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Woo! 8. Okay, I've already lost. Okay.
No, you're fine. Okay. You ready? So I want you to give me 8 things that Black mamas say or do. 8 things that Black mamas say or do. Go.
Who goes first?
Don't try me.
Go.
I will hit you into the middle of.
I'm going to whoop you. You better sit down. Say what? Don't look at me like that. Drop that bass in your voice. I'm not playing.
So I will knock you into the middle of next week. You have the audacity to speak to me that way. Did you not hear me tell you to clean the kitchen well?
Dude, get up.
Wait, right. Did I get up?
We are way beyond 15 seconds.
Oh, no, I got my 8 men. I know I did.
So do we take turns or we just say at the same time?
No, I was saying go at the same time.
Oh, okay.
We actually talk over each other, which is not consistent with the African paradigm, but we will just be okay with that.
So we don't take turns.
Yeah.
So we don't take turns, y'all. Is that do we or do we not?
No. But that's okay. I haven't. My son is 28, about to be 29. It's been a long time since I've had to say any of that.
But notice how it flowed out of the mouth.
Yes. I have to say one thing, because my favorite one is, whose face is this in front of you? Because my children went to some private schools. Mm-hmm. And so I said, hold up, who are you talking to again? Mm-hmm. That's a big one. Who are you talking to?
Because I said so. That's my favorite.
Okay.
No, I don't need to be your friend. No, I don't care how you. No, I don't care how you feel.
Not at all.
I remember that one. Yeah.
As if it matters.
As if it matters.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Ifetayo Ojelade, and as you can see, I am here with my sister colleague.
No, this is not your house. I'm letting you live here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only.
Yeah. What bill do you pay?
They're still playing this game.
Because the last one is, maybe you really shouldn't come home tonight. Stay where you are.
That's right. Oh, you want to run away? Let me help you pack.
The suitcase is upstairs in the closet.
Right. Not until you're 18.
Not until you are paying all the bills.
Yes.
Do you get an opinion? Okay, we're done. I think we're good.
Yes. You frozen, Dr. Ojelade.
Yeah, Ife's frozen. Oops. So should we keep going, Dr. Earl Lewis?
We absolutely can. And we are representing Morehouse College and Morehouse School of Medicine.
Absolutely.
So we are indeed companions. As we await for Dr. Ojelade to return to us, we just want to let all of you know we're so glad you're here. This is being co-sponsored by the Faculty Development, Teaching, and Advising Center at Morehouse College with a healing paradigm. And we are so grateful to be in this partnership whereby we are able to offer professional development and continuing education opportunities for the faculty, staff, and students at Morehouse College. I'm also very pleased to be here with you, Dr. Garrison, because you have been a supporter of the work at Morehouse College as we have partnered together to provide training and opportunities, you supporting students who have interest in Morehouse School of Medicine in becoming physicians, psychologists. So as we're awaiting Dr. Ojelade, why don't you share more about what you do at Morehouse School of Medicine?
Welcome to everyone. I'm really glad to be here doing this. This is a new experience for me, as are many things in this particular time of virtual living. And this is exciting. So I have been at Morehouse School of Medicine for 30 years. I have watched it grow. Started there when the school was really only about 15 years old or so. And I've watched our programs grow. So what I do there now is Director of Counseling Services. And I have an appointment in the psychiatry department, assistant professor. I do a half-day clinic at Morehouse Healthcare, which is our private practice arm, and a half-day clinic at Grady in the cancer center. Mostly I work with all of our students there. And so across the time of my being there, we have expanded the number of students that we serve and teach, and we've expanded our programs. So now we have a program in physicians. We have a physician's assistant program. This is going into year 2. We are very excited about that. We have a master's in biomedical science, a master's in neuroscience, a master's in biomedical research, the PhD in biomedical sciences, MD, and PhD programs, and then we have primary care residencies. So I impact all of our first year incoming students every year in orientation, and we are now really putting forth the effort to emphasize wellness. So we now have a baseline assessment that all of our first year students fill in online. There's about 5 assessments, and then they have to break the stigma of talking about their own mental health by actually making an appointment with one of our counselors and getting some feedback from those assessments and just talking about mental health, their own mental health. And that has been actually illuminating for some students. Sometimes it goes the way you would think, but a good number of them do come out of that saying, wow, I learned some things that I wasn't really expecting. And we also have little wellness plans. So they have to practice a little something across a month or several months. It's a really good thing. Dr. Ojelade, you have returned.
I have returned. Amazingly.
It is Dr. Garrison was sharing the work that she does at Morehouse School of Medicine. And so you appeared again just in time. So I'm going to hand this back over as we begin the conversation for today.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Earl Lewis. Take care.
Thank you.
Well, that was perfect. So I got to see a little bit of that. And I think it speaks to the ingenuity of Black women. So even when stuff goes wrong, we know how to go with it.
Well, let's just move on along with this. Absolutely. You were missed, though. You were missed.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, for coming. If you are here for continuing education, I see we got folks from Brazil. Hey, my sister in Brazil. And then we've got folks from Morehouse College. Thank you for coming. Please put questions, if you have questions for Dr. Garrison, in the chat. This is a subject that is actually very close to my heart. Dr. Garrison, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, that I grew up around academically gifted folks, i.e. geniuses. Grew up in a space with Black genius where folks were not necessarily emotionally healthy and functioning well.
Astute, awake. Right.
And I was always really curious about this. So this is the subject that is really close to my heart. And I want us to really kind of dive in today and really look at this subject. So I know that we're going to talk about definitely the work that you're doing at Morehouse School of Medicine. And I want to really stretch this into even a broader look so we can look before graduate school when folks are in undergrad and maybe struggling. And I wonder if you can start out by kind of just giving some idea for those that are at an undergraduate level, particularly those that may be on and working with undergraduate students. What are some of the signs that we need to look at that a student that is academically gifted may be struggling?
I think oftentimes the signs are the same. I think it's those who's looking at academically gifted students. I think we give academically gifted students a pass because mostly they're very verbal, or they have a good facility with language when they choose to use it, and they can put adults or educators at ease because they easily grasp some of the intellectual concepts. So we give them a pass when it looks like maybe they've done something that indicates some emotional distress, maybe being isolated. We say, well, they're above their peers. Maybe they really don't manage interactions all that well. And we say, well, they'll figure it out. If they don't have a lot of friends, it may be, again, because we say, well, better that they stay with their academics and do things, because you can always make friends. There are lots of things that happen with that. But I do know that, and even before college and high school, highly verbal children and young adults look as if they have figured out more than they have. And so I think the biggest thing is that we overlook the fact that one has to grow up emotionally, just like we have to grow up everywhere else. And sometimes being able to understand what's going on around you, but not have the emotional maturity to process and deal with it, is actually more difficult than for someone who may not be registering everything that's happening. So that's one thing. The other thing that I noticed at the graduate level, and I know starts before college, and I'm speaking about the population I know most about, which is those who go into biomedical sciences, research medicine, and even public health. Many of these young people have been groomed to know and believe that they want to do this because they can. I don't know if sometimes they've really been given an opportunity to actually decide what else it is that might be a passion for them. Um, so I do think sometimes that's a disservice. Oftentimes it's not, because if it really is an honest interest with that student, then it is real helpful, and it does help them get over some of the rough spots. But there's some, I think I've probably said this to you, many people before, there's some things you just don't get to skip. There's some steps you can't skip. And growing yourself up, learning how to identify your own emotions and what to do about them, and then learning how to read a room or to understand other people's verbal and nonverbal communications, and managing relationships. Those are the three aspects of emotional intelligence. That takes practice. And sometimes the students are not given an opportunity to do so.
And I noticed that. So I was talking to a girlfriend last night, and she was telling me about her GP, her general practitioner, that had just changed, and a new GP comes in the room, and the image that I got, and and I wasn't there, but you know, cute little tennis shoes on that match the top, and long.
This is the practitioner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Long acrylic nails, and the little scrunchie, and she at one point started cursing, and my colleague was taken aback that this is the new GP in the room. And
not an MSM grad, pretty sure.
And then she launched into a conversation of what my friend is a historian, and she talked about how the GP was trying to correct her on stuff that supposedly she was doing around her diet, but it was all based on kind of these racialized stereotypes of what Black people eat. So stop eating McDonald's, stop eating fried chicken, and I'm not doing that. Anyway. And I thought it was really interesting because what she was describing, and so it actually took us into, we were going to have this conversation, you and I were going to have this conversation today. Right. I think it's one of those examples of someone could be very academically gifted and quickly move through a program, but not have the social skills to come in. My friend has a PhD. It's not something necessarily that she talks about to the GP, but she didn't seem to have the skills to be able to navigate with this new patient that she was engaged in.
Right. What she wasn't able to do was read the room. So this general practitioner did not gather that she was being unhelpful and effective in her communication with this patient. Yeah. She wasn't able to do that. So, this whole academically gifted term even is interesting to me. And the whole idea, again, of intelligence is also very multi-layered for me. I went to Spelman a long time ago, like in a whole nother century, actually. And Dr. Smothers, who was
literally in another century, literally.
I do mean that literally. Like I am not joking. One of the things that was just so amazing to me that my psychology professor, Eccleston, I think his name was, who also taught my mother. Long story. He said intelligence is what intelligence tests test. Now this was in the 70s. Yeah. And I thought, what does that mean? And this was beginning to look at things like that. But at that point, he was pointing out to us that intelligence is a much more broad and multi-layered concept than most people think. And so now moving forward, we know there's 7 intelligences, and we have all different kinds of profiles about that. But when we think about intelligence, we think about the stuff that you have to do in school, which is some linear analytical thinking and processing, but that's not the full range of it. So I think that what happens is for students who show some great facility or a particular skill or excellence or genius in one area, then they aren't given the expectation or the opportunity to develop all the other areas that requires balance for them. So they end up moving through only learning how to do one thing really well to the